Mutant Chronicles Siege of the Citadel is a 1993 adventure game for 3 to 5 players ages 10 and up from Pressman, in which you will take on one brutal mission after another in the face of the sinister Dark Legion. The jutting spires of the huge citadel reached through the smoke like a monster. Every attempt to take it had been shattered by the battle magic of the hideous Nepharites. Still, the Imperial infantry moved forward with a feeling so strong this mission might finally be realized. McHurst felt a surge in his chest. 3 other corporations would soon join the fight under the banner name Doom Troopers. In Mutant Chronicles, you control one of 5 corporations: Imperial, Cybertronic, Mishima, Capital, or Bauhaus. With your own unique expertise, you make decisions and plan your strategies. Each successful mission brings you a new one with a different Citadel layout and different events that can help or hinder you in battle. Each promotion gives you access to more powerful weaponry. The strike on the Nepharites is beginning. Grab your Punisher shortsword and your plasma carbine and make your mark in the Mutant Chronicles. This game includes 38 detailed figures and is the de facto Mutant Wasteland dungeon crawler. In other words, if you have HeroQuest and you appreciate having a dungeon crawler set in a fantasy sword and sorcery environment, and you have Space Crusade and you appreciate having a dungeon crawler set in the far-flung future, ripe with aliens and advanced weaponry and technology, then Mutant Chronicles will be your prized dungeon crawler set in a Judge Dredd post-apocalyptic wasteland, very Mad Max-esque. Now, this is somewhat of a brother to the cyberpunk genre, in my opinion. I feel like there are 2 main flavors of this, one being the post-apocalyptic wasteland variant, the other being the cyberpunk near future. Both of these things, I think, are cousins. They can coexist. I don't really separate them out that much, but Mutant Chronicles definitely lends itself more towards the Wasteland and Judge Dredd side of things. So although this has nothing to do with Space Crusade or HeroQuest, it is very much a dungeon crawler in its own right and is the closest thing to HeroQuest set in Mutant Apocalypse Wasteland that I have in my vast collection of dungeon crawlers. Now, this is a game designed for 5 players. You can play it with 3, but a cursory Google search says that we can adjust the rules a little bit to play with fewer than 3 players, even solo play. In classic dungeon crawler contents fashion, we have a rule book and we have a missions book. We have the map board tiles, which are separated out into large rooms, corridors, doorways, and they're not double-sided, they're single-sided. But they are rotatable, so you do have different configurations that you can use with each of these boards, including this absolutely PITA layout right here. How dare somebody do this? How dare they? You'll notice the numbers, although I will forgive you if at first you didn't notice them, because they're made to be a pretty immersive part of the environment itself, and these will help you build your missions out according to reference from the missions book. We've also got our center piece, and this is used with this piece here, which is not just candy tray storage in the box. This is actually vertical real estate that will be used on your board. And with these catches in place, this thing's not going to go anywhere in normal play. The miniatures in Ziploc bags were not my doing. We will be looking at these fantastic minis very soon. This game comes with an assortment of combat dice as well as standard D20 and D6. We've got some chips in there as well, a couple of other tiles to mark out important things happening on the board, event cards and equipment cards. See, I told you. Dungeon crawler to a T, baby. Dark Legion reference cards for ranks 1 through 4. 1 through 6, actually. Sorry, 6 ranks. And we have 5 character boards, or perhaps corporation boards, with pegs to match to help us track our stats. We've got credits, extra actions. We've got our ranks, promotion points, extra actions, and what color dice these different ranks will provide. We've got our wounds tracker here. The name of the corporation, this is the Imperial. Imperial Doom Troopers have a keen sense of intuition. They gain 1 extra action at the start of each of their turns. We have our additional rules and flavor text here. And promotion points. We have 2 separate trackers here to help us count from 1 to 140. It's not just the Imperials. We also have the Bauhaus, the Cybertronic, Mishima, and the Capital. Probably impossible to miss the giant cardboard piece. This is the Citadel. This is where the siege happens. If you're looking for a siege, look no further than this foot-tall cardboard Citadel. We have basic training, which teaches you how to set up the Trial by Fire mission. This is a fast-play training mission designed to teach players the basics of the game. I always highly appreciate when stuff like this is included with any game. It's a three-dimensional illustration of the Citadel laid out over the boards, which are called sectors. And you can see how these different configurations will come into play and how they are set up on paper to give you the illustration of the quest in its totality. Now, this goes on quite a bit until we get to the rest of the rules, and we learn that Siege of the Citadel is primarily designed to be played by 5 players. 1 player is chosen to command the Dark Legions, while each of the other players control a corporation team of Doom Troopers. When there are less than 5 players, it will be a formidable challenge for Doom Troopers to complete their mission. So that's letting you know that you're going to have both of these heroes on the board, and having fewer than 8 of these heroes on the board playing against the Dark Legion player is going to make this a challenge. So very easy to double hand the cards and the boards and dice and stats and everything. We have our rules for Doom Trooper ranks, the game board, the Citadel. Determine if you are going to play a single mission or a campaign game. You can play a short mini campaign. 2 or 3 missions will give you a full afternoon or evening. The winner of this mini campaign is the player with the highest number of points after all the missions are completed. In a long campaign, the first player to reach a set number of points is declared the winner. The number of points can vary, but remember 130 promotion points is the highest rank possible. So a little bit of annotation done here. In the equipment bunker section, which is the deck of equipment cards, that's the corporate warehouse for all types of advanced equipment and powerful weapons. Short and long range is one combo, and they went ahead and marked that out, it looks like. You need to advance in ranks in order to unlock special equipment, such as the Gehenna Puka, or the Deathlock Drum, or Punisher Combo. There are also a number of pieces of equipment that cost credits instead of requiring you to have certain ranks. This gives you some examples of the line of sight, line of fire, how some weapons can attack more than one target. The Nimrod autocannon, for example, allows you to target 1 or 2 figures in the same attack. You must have a line of sight to target both of the figures. If you fire at 1 target, you roll 6 dice. If you fire at 2 targets, roll 3 dice against each. Let's peek through our missions book, which feels pretty small, but it looks like there are multiple missions on every page. So we have Eagle Strike. Mission 2 is Trapped. Mission 3 is Get the Boss, then Assault on the East Tower. This goes on to missions 5 through 10, which 10 has a very interesting layout indeed. It's good that you will know exactly how to lay these out and how much space they'll take up and what orientation they'll have and such before you begin play. I can see where the Citadel itself might provide a little bit of a challenge as far as having to reach over stuff. Inevitably, you're going to have a player sitting right by the Citadel who's going to have to reach around it every time, but the Citadel, it seems, is going to offer us blockades where some rooms perhaps would not have these otherwise, kind of in the case of Space Crusade's large cross in the center of the playing area. It blocks off some rooms that ordinarily would not be blocked off. At least that's the assumption that I'm going with. It may be possible to play without the Citadel piece, and if not, then it should certainly be easy enough to proxy by just putting down some flat Jenga blocks or something in place of where it would be blockading your view, where it would be in play. Anatomy of a mission. We have the briefing, which is the flavor text. For Eagle Strike, the entrance to Alakai's Citadel has been blown open by the bomb squad. Doom Trooper entrance points are marked, and then we have white arrows that point out the Doom Trooper entrance points. So we have multiple ways to start this for the Doom Troopers. Our mission objective is the Doom Troopers must eliminate 20 promotion points of Dark Legion creatures. By the end of the mission, 1 Doom Trooper from a player's team must exit the game board from Sector 1 or 4 to collect the reward. Secondary mission cards are not used, and we do have board sections 1 through 4, not 1 through 4, but 1 and 4 prominently displayed here. We have a time limit of 4 rounds. Reminder, the Dark Legion player draws 4 event cards. Reinforcements on the event cards enter at entrance points in the Citadel marked black arrow, and we have 5 of those. We have Dark Legion resources, force cards 1 through 7. Reminder, Dark Legion player places the force cards on the game board sectors. And rewards. Doom Troopers receive 1 credit. If the Doom Troopers fail to complete their mission, the Dark Legion player receives 2 credits. So it looks like this is an ongoing thing. The Dark Legion player can continue to amount credits over time, depending on if missions fail, or actually that seems to be the only condition by which the Dark Legion would receive credits. Now, if you've heard of Mutant Chronicles, but none of this looks familiar, it is because they did do a sort of remastered re-release version of the game. So there is a contemporary version of Mutant Chronicles, and I believe Siege of the Citadel is one of those games. There are multiple games in the series. As of the time of recording this video, I cannot remember if there are multiple games in the classic version of this series. So I might even be incorrect in referring to it as a series as far as the classic version goes. As mentioned, we have white, black, and red combat dice. The difference, as you probably would guess, the number of successful hit faces on each die, with the white having 2, the red having 3, and the black having 4 successful hit faces. Drop the white dice as soon as you can. They are next to useless. Now, I said this had event cards and equipment cards, but actually all bundled together with the event cards, the secondary mission cards, the Doom Trooper cards, and the Force cards. These are the ones that were set to go directly on the board. So it looks like if these are played, 12, Diversion Cohort, Ezogul Beastmaster. The Ezogul has 3 actions each combat round. 10, Nephirite Overlord. The Nephirite has 3 actions each combat round. Razide Cohort, 1 Razide, 2 Legionnaires, and so on. Looks like these are basically placements of enemies. So when this is drawn, the enemies will get placed, or at least they will start to enter the board from the entry points marked out in the mission briefing. These are numbered 1 through 12, so maybe these are always drawn in sequence. I've had this game for a while. I was very much looking forward to showing it to you and presenting the miniatures and board pieces and everything, but I haven't played it, so I'm not familiar with the rules, at least not yet. The Doom Trooper cards consist of Special Displacement. A feature in your Doom Trooper's armor displaces the visible spectrum hiding the heroes from sight. No attacks may be made against them this combat round. False Orders. A Doom Trooper pair receives false movement orders. When this card is played, you may immediately perform 2 movement actions with a freely chosen Doom Trooper pair other than your own. Goodness, so we have a good thing for you and a bad thing for a rival set of Doom Troopers. A freely chosen Doom Trooper is teleported to a different sector of your choice. Yeah, this is to screw your buddies out of winning the round. Winning the mission. 1 Doom Trooper pair loses the initiative. Choose a Doom Trooper card randomly from any freely chosen player and discard it. Whereas the top ones are always boons for you. Your Doom Troopers gain access to the Legion's command system. The Legion player must move a force card of your choice to an adjacent sector of his choice. You may not look at it. If the new sector contains Doom Troopers, the card is turned over. You can steal cards from any of the other players. Remote control door, control defense system, medic, uncalibrated targeter, combat neurosis, medicine injector. Very interesting mechanics, interesting dynamic, interesting facilitation. What kind of mood is at this table? Secondary mission cards include Prove Your Worth. Briefing. Your superiors are not convinced that you have fought with true dedication the last few missions. This time they want proof that you carry your own weight. Mission. See to it that your troopers have at least 5 wounds between them and that both are alive at the end of the mission. Rewards. 2 credits. 1 credit to the Legion player if the mission is not accomplished. Destroy the Legion, instigate Legionnaire mutiny. So we do have another way for the Dark Legion to get credits, and that's if you don't successfully complete the secondary mission cards. Map the Citadel. Your chiefs of staff need a map of the Citadel. Your orders are to perform recon in the Citadel. Mission. Your unit must enter each sector on the game board at least once during the mission. Rewards. 2 credits. 1 credit to the Legion player if the mission is not accomplished. I think that these would make for extremely good cards to draw inspiration from if you were homebrewing content for one of the other dungeon crawlers mentioned in this episode. We have our event cards next. Our Nephirite Overlord on the front. Misinterpreted orders. Reinforcements, 3 Legionnaires. Temporary defense system. Reinforcements equals 1 Necromutant, 1 Razide, 1 Centurion, 1 Necromutant, and 8 Legionnaires on the Legionnaire's charge. Dark teleportation. This combat round, you are allowed to move one of your figures to any square on the board instead of 1 normal movement action. You get a reinforcement of 1 Razide. You basically get a buff, a boon, and then you get reinforcements as well. So these are very deadly cards. And I believe these were the ones that the Dark Legion player could play 4 of during a round. That sucks. Next up are the equipment cards, and these are truly all equipment cards. We've got our Violator combo, which consists of a hypercharged Violator sword for extra impact and a standard carbine. See special rules in the rules book. Close combat is 5 dice, fire combat's 3, rank required 4, cost 4. Lots of information here, along with the flavor text and a nice illustration on a nice background, very immersive UI, the Nimrod autocannon. 2 of those, command helmet, teleportal, molecular phaser, combat medic unit. This trusted Doom Trooper servant is a computer robot medic that diagnoses and treats wounds even during combat. It automatically removes 4 wounds from the Doom Trooper. It must be used before the Doom Trooper is eliminated. The Violator swords make a comeback. The targeting eye, the Deathlock drum, I see what that is now. The cybernetic power arm, the grenade launcher, Punisher combo, Gehenna Puka. This is a big deal in this game. It's mentioned in the commercial. This high-tech flamethrower spews out a cloud of ignited plasma that reduces everything in its path to a sizzling cinder. 1 die, 3 dice, 2. Rank required, cost 2. Laser sight, coagulant auto-injector, and it just goes on like that with the different pieces of equipment. Very impressive. Definitely play into the whole number go up, therefore feel good brain juice go up. Now it's time to show off the highly detailed miniatures. This time we're going to look at the different corporations. Interestingly enough, they're fantasy. They are very much postmodern. They have decals on the back denoting what corporation they are from. I thought that was really interesting and highly useful. I mean, it's not as if you won't be able to tell at a glance thanks to the different base colors of each of the units. However, if you decided to paint these, then you probably wouldn't want to paint over the decal, and the decal would serve as a reminder what unit this, or what corporation rather, this unit belongs to. I like the sculpts. They're thematic, they fit. The face and hair on this lady is actually cute. It's well done, but she looks no less threatening. She's got her gun out. She's got her sword. We've got bulky armor. We've got all those heroic 28mm features that we might have from this era. There were good choices made with the design of the sculpts. Big, bulky armor, exaggerated proportions in the hands, the feet, the head. And it was a really cool choice to give each player 2 units to play with. So you don't necessarily have to feel locked behind one appearance for your entire campaign. One miniature to represent, you. As similar as some of these guys are, they are still different in many ways, and you have control of both of them should you choose, that color. The massive Azogul is the gargoyle of this whole thing, just an absolute beast and one of the coolest things to come out of any dungeon crawling board game box. If you disagree, well, you're objectively wrong, and I hope you'll see the error of your ways soon. It's articulated just a little bit, so it can actually move around, although that does throw the weight of the miniature around, causing it to be a bit unstable, but still, no less imposing, no less threatening. It's got 4 horse-like riding legs and 2 very buff, very gigantic humanoid arms, armed with very human weapons. And when I say massive, this is the comparison between the miniatures. Not so miniature now. The other guys in this box are kind of analogs to your goblins. This guy even has the same pose as the goblin analogs from Space Crusade. They almost mirror them in number as well, although there are quite a few more of these guys. These are just Legionnaires, the stats of which will change depending on the rank of the Dark Legion player. Necro-mutants are up next. I would say that these are pretty much the orc analogs in terms of their size, their bulkiness, their number, their very brutish appearance, followed by the Centurions. These guys are pretty cool, kind of boring. They look human after all. There's only 3 of them, so we have to assume that they are kind of the next level threat. Whenever one of these guys appears on the board, he's going to be tough business, probably equal in power to the heroes. My box only has 2 of these Razides. Close combat of 3, fire combat of 4. Whenever we're talking about ranks 3 to 4, that's 3 black dice. The first enemy is to use black dice. And finally, the Nephirite Overlord, who very much is not armed with the Gehenna Puka, but a spear of some sort, pointing that way, like El Baño es allá. That's the language that is spoken in this universe. Cyber Spanish. Again, do love the sculpts. Only one of them with this box, though. And obviously, only one Azogul. That is, more or less, Mutant Chronicles. And I wanted to show you this game also because I thought it important that you see what it is, because in the near future, I'm going to be using these assets with other assets for games of this type. I guess I'll just tell you now, the Loki cyberpunk battle maps, in an effort to kind of spew automatic and very easy homebrew for anybody who might want to play their old copy of Mutant Chronicles. but in a new way, and new meaning with the Loki cyberpunk battle map. So again, I think that the cyberpunk and Mutant Wasteland genres go together fairly well. Not 100% and not 100%, but the Venn diagram is very closely a circle. It at least looks like the MasterCard logo. I don't know if that joke's going to land. Anyways, brave adventurers, thank you very much for your kind attention today. Tell me what you thought about Mutant Chronicles. Have you even heard of this game? Have you played this game? And would you be interested in seeing playthroughs of this game on the channel? I know that's a question I ask quite often, and I very seldom actually do the playthroughs, but it's important for me to get that data anyway when I finally do circle back and get the time to play the game on camera. So do let me know if you are interested, and let me know if you would like any other kind of look at this game. Perhaps a will it HeroQuest. What other games can you think of that are set in this kind of setting that are dungeon crawlers that I can check out? Let me know all this stuff and whatever else you might want to in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next exciting adventure. Brave heroes, thank you very much again. Until next time, I bid you farewell for now.
There will come a time when Earth will be nothing but a wasteland, and there will be a Nephirite overlord armed with a Gehenna puker ready to spew burning plasma and melt your head. He is but one of the hideous forces you face in Mutant Chronicles, the game of good versus disgusting evil. Mutant Chronicles, evolution's about to take a nasty turn.